Konbawa.
Or konnichiwa to wherever you are in the world.
I'm Cookie.
I'm Robert.
And together we're Charlotte International. It's about dinner time here in Japan, and we just wanted to come and check in and just give a brief intro about why we've been missing. We just got over the holidays, so Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New Year.
And if you click on this video, you probably know already that I did have to have a second surgery, so that's why we've been kind of missing in action. I guess this video will be a little bit different. I'll be by myself and I'll give you like a story time of how I hurt myself, the recovery, and all that good stuff. And then at the very end, stay tuned because we might give a hint of where we're headed to next. So
slight might.
Maybe you might have to stay tuned. So if you want to hear how I broke my ankle, how the surgery went, and why I'm having another surgery, stay tuned.
Alright, see ya.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to make this as short as possible. So how I broke my ankle. Last year I saw a flyer for roller derby, and I figured, hey, like, I can skate, you know, skate town, and prepared me for this. I can skate hard and bust a few heads if need be. So I'm good to go. I want to try this out. Everything was going pretty well for the first few months. I was getting back into my groove. I was learning like so much and learning what I was doing wrong before, and just having a really great time. So one night at practice, we were learning jumps, and the first few went pretty well. It was that third one that it hit me like a ton of bricks. I think I saw the break happen, but it didn't really hit me until like I was on the ground and I just saw my teammate. She just went completely white. And then as I looked down again, I was like, oh crap, this might have been an issue. So I'm like on the floor screaming bloody murder. And here's where things get kind of blurry for me. I kind of have things filled in for me for my teammates. And so when the break happened, I found out later that the reason why it hurt so bad and I couldn't stop screaming is because I had a certain break, and I know I'm gonna butcher the name of it, so I'll put it down here. What basically happened was I had 3 fractures with a dislocation. So within those 3 fractures, they were 3 different bones, and it was kind of like the big body bones, like the main bones that kind of hold everything together down there. So instead of when it broke, it didn't just like fracture. So it kind of just like went zoop and then zoop. And so it was kind of, the bones were kind of like running into each other and like into my muscles and my tendons and stuff. And I found out that I was very blessed that it actually didn't break skin. So I'm on the floor. Oh, another thing, visual, because you're gonna need this later. So you know how your ankles or your feet, so if you're looking at someone straight on, their feet are like this, their ankle is, you know, at an angle or whatever, but listen, just bear with me, y'all. So when the break happened, my ankle went zoop. It went zoop. So as you can see from that dislocation, my ankle almost turned like completely backwards. So hang on to that visual because it's important later. So I'm laying on the floor, and like I said, this is where things get blurry because I'm like, I don't know if it was actually time stood still or if I was imagining it. I don't know. I'm laying on the floor, and even though my teammates like jumped into action, You know, somebody ran over me, somebody called an ambulance, somebody called Robert. There's so many things going on. It just seemed like it took forever for the ambulance to come. Like, I don't know if it actually took that long, but it seemed like I was on the floor for like a good 30 minutes. And then when they got there, it was just so much chaos. And here's where I really thank my teammates for being my advocate, because when the paramedics got there, it just seemed like nobody really knew what to do. And then like they kept moving me for some reason. And like I just feel like they shouldn't have been moving me. For one, nobody was securing my ankle. Like I said, it was literally like hanging by a thread. And they kept moving me all over the place. And finally, one of my teammates was just like, hey, genius, stop moving her until you know what to do with it. And so they finally figured it out. Meanwhile, my other teammate is like holding my ankle together. And I feel so bad for her, but I love you to death, girl. I feel so bad for her because it looks like she wants to puke. But she's holding me together, and I appreciate that so much. So we finally get to the ambulance, and my teammate comes along with me. And is that our paramedic, Robert? Is that what you call him, paramedic? Okay, we're gonna go with the paramedic. So she's taking over and she's holding my ankle together now, but she's not doing a very good job. First of all, like, okay, I don't know how true this is, but I've heard that ambulances in Japan can't go over a certain speed limit. So imagine going super slow and you're in this dire emergency and the paramedic is holding your ankle together. Mind you, I still have my skate on, so it's weighing down my ankle even more. And we're going so slow and I'm hitting every single bump in the road. So it's like, oh my God, just try not to pass out, girl. Try not to pass out. So we finally make it to the hospital, and what happens when you dislocate something? They have to put it back. So, oh my gosh. It's about, what, maybe like 10 o'clock at night now, and I just really feel bad for whoever was in the hospital that night, the other patients and stuff. Even though they put me on drugs or painkillers or whatever, when they had to put that sucker back in place, oh my God. Robert, could y'all hear me screaming?
Yep.
I know I woke up the dead all over Japan because like since everything was all mumbled and jumbled up in there, they couldn't just pop it back into place within one try. Like they had to keep like, I'm getting queasy just thinking about it. I'll show you some pictures from the x-rays after they put it back into place. And oh man, so my crazy self, even though all this is happening, I'm on the hospital bed. I'm like, so I'm not gonna need surgery, right? I have to go to the Philippines next month. And they're looking at me like, is this broad crazy? But that was just the very start of a long journey. I did end up having to get surgery, and I think it's called open reduction something. I'll put it down here, but it's a major surgery. I had to wait almost over 2 weeks to get the surgery because my swelling was so bad and that they couldn't operate on it. So when I finally got it, I have one plate and I have a gang of screws in me and a tightrope, and I'll show you a picture of what that looks like. Basically what they told me was, so I couldn't bear weight at all for 3 months, and that was the longest 3 months of my life. I could not walk. I could not do anything for myself. Mentally, it was draining. I wasn't doing well with the pain medicine because just in general, I don't do well with medicine. So the pain medicine and the anesthesia like really jacked me up. And I'm really thankful for my husband during that time. We tried to do a few things to help my mental health during that time. I think a lot of people don't really understand how truly draining that is. Somebody might see it and say, oh, I wish I had 3 months to do absolutely nothing. But mind you, that 3 months, you're not just sitting there chilling. Like, you're there in excruciating pain all day, every day. You can't do anything for yourself, and you just feel like life is passing you by. Not even adding the fact that you don't know if you'll be able to fully recover, if you'll walk again correctly, and all that jazz. So, we went through those 3 months. Robert signed my permission slip a few times and let me out of the house, but it was very few and far in between. But when they finally did put me on partial weight bearing, I had to start walking in the boot, which I could never quite get the hang of. So I didn't really wear my boot unless I was like outside, and then I still just used my crutches. But inside the house and stuff, like I went barefoot, and I had a whole regimen that I had to do as far as exercise wise. I started physical therapy maybe 2 weeks after I came out of the initial surgery, and you really just work on range of motion within those 3 months because I couldn't put weight on it. So keep that in mind because that's going to come into play later. So once I started doing the partial weight bearing, it started to get a little better, but I kind of like plateaued to a point where nothing was really getting better, and it was too early to take my hardware out. And even now, it's still too early. My surgeon is like, I won't even think about it until you hit the year mark. But yeah, nothing was really improving, and I was just in a world of pain all day, every day, and I couldn't walk properly. It was just really hard. It was like I had a peg leg. This is basically what it was. And with talking to my surgeon, because of the condition and the breaks that I had a lot going on. So he basically didn't want to promise me that, hey, you're going to be back to the way you were before this accident. Like, he just could not guarantee that. He did not want to give me that false hope. We sat down and we tried to figure out, okay, what could be causing this short of having your hardware removed, because that's just not an option. So the thing that we decided to go with, he felt like I had a lot of scar tissue build up, because remember, I had 3 months where I could not put weight on anything. I was limited into the exercises that I could do, and so it just did not break up that deep scar tissue within my my ankle. So what we settled on was having a scope done, to where you just go in and try to get out all that scar tissue. And it was a lot of risk involved. I did not take that decision lightly. I still don't know if I made the right decision, because it's only 3 weeks post operation. Well, yeah, 3 weeks right now, and I'm still getting back and trying to get in the swing of things. But I'll insert a few clips of my surgery day and how my recovery has been so far, and then I think it also like explains a little bit more about why this surgery was risky, and then come back and I'll tell you how I'm doing right now.